I would like at this time to pass it over to Arline. Okay, so Arline is a Sage CRM certified consultant, and she's been working with CRM for several years, not only as an application consultant, but also as a business consultant. So she's focused on helping your company best utilize the tools available in CRM and ERP systems to improve your business. Today she'll be presenting a solution called Accelerator for Sage CRM. Since many of us spend our business day in Outlook, you'll learn how to leverage all that communication that's happening in Outlook and turn it into business success. And we'll pass audio over to her, hopefully successfully. Bear with us. Thank you.
Okay, hi everybody. So, like Mark said, today I'm going to show you what Accelerator can do for the times when you feel like part of your world is happening in Outlook and part of it is happening in CRM. That's kind of one of the problems that Accelerator really solves. So, I just want to start by just kind of helping you picture a couple of business scenarios where this would be relevant. Okay. So I want you to just think of the conversations you've had in your business in the past week or so that have happened in Outlook that would be useful if anyone else in your organization knew about them, but they don't because it's just in Outlook. And then I want you to also think of what about any situation in your business where there are inside salespeople who are qualifying leads and getting to know them, and then passing those leads off to an outside salesperson. Is that information codified anywhere? Is it stored anywhere? Can you go back and get it in 6 months when that lead is ready to buy? Or can't you? Or is it just stored, in everybody's memory? And then the last thing I just want you to think about as we're getting started is, why did you buy your CRM system? What was it for? I'm going to guess that some of it was to manage those relationships that you're building over email or over the phone with your prospects and your customers and your vendors. The thing is, sometimes those can just feel like two different worlds, the Outlook world and the CRM world. And the reason I want to show you Accelerator is because Accelerator takes those two worlds and it just collapses them, and it acts like a hinge between what's happening in Outlook and the relationships we're building there, and the promise of a 365 view of those customers and prospects that we're meant to have in CRM. You can see here I'm actually in Outlook, right? I'm just doing my day-to-day work in Outlook, and on the right-hand side of my screen is this Accelerator panel. It's taking what's in CRM and it's bringing it to me, the user. I don't have to go check on what we know about Theodore in CRM. It's actually just presenting CRM to me in the environment that I'm already working. I'm already doing business in this environment. So what I'm going to show you is how I could use this email, turn it into an inquiry, start an opportunity in Sage CRM, and then use a mail merge function using Accelerator to then follow up with this opportunity and store everything I've done with that prospect in CRM. So it all starts with my email. I get this inquiry, and Accelerator on the right-hand panel of my screen presents to me the information that I have about him in CRM. You see my person summary, you see my company summary, and you see this address information. So where is this coming from? It's not Outlook, it's not the internet, it's just what I have in my database. So I can start an opportunity here, but I also just want to point out to you what you can actually see about this company in CRM. I can see I don't have a website. Okay, let's fix that. I see I don't have a title. We can fix that. So it's sort of presenting the data to me on a day-to-day basis, which makes it easy for me to then update the information that I have in my database because it's already in front of me. I don't have to go look them up. So like I said, what we're going to do is start a new opportunity when I get an inquiry over email. This new button, little fun wizard hat, sort of indicates to me that I can spawn any record from what I have linked on here, a new company, a new person, a lead, a case, if this were a case or a question. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to choose New Opportunity. So what's happening right now is Accelerator is basically going into CRM, finding Theodore Roosevelt and his company, starting a new opportunity, and then what it's doing is parsing this email as best it can, doing a scrape of the content of this email, and loading it into these editable fields on the right-hand side of my screen. You can see my emails here in the details. You probably recognize the description from the subject line. And it's also matching on company and person. Now these icons should look familiar. If I wanted to change these, associate this with a different company or a different person, I can do that here. The next several fields are just the baked-in opportunity fields, but you can also configure these. This is all in a web.config file. If there are specific fields that you want to make sure that you or your salespeople are capturing right when they start a new opportunity, we can make that happen. So now what I've done is I'm going to click Save, and let's remember, have I left Outlook? No. I'm just in CRM, just starting opportunities. And at this point, I could go along, I could do my next email, I could sort of continue my work, knowing that the story of this opportunity is being built for me behind the scenes in CRM. I know there are some salespeople on the webinar today, and I know what a lot of salespeople's first instinct is when they get a good email like this is they need to qualify that. They need to get kind of the conversation started. It's not just an email, it's a phone call. I can do that too. I'm going to click this little phone button, and it brings up the phone dialog. And at this point, I can make this call to Theodore and find out what his level of interest is, find out where he is in the buying pipeline, and learn more about what his needs are. Okay, he wants to see a spec sheet. Great. Remember, I'm just still cruising in Outlook. I'm just doing work kind of the way I normally would, but Accelerator is asking me right at the right moment, is this something that we're going to keep in CRM? Is this part of the story of this opportunity? But now let's pop over to CRM. So it's sort of fun to see this in a split screen where you can kind of see how it works. So Accelerator is basically just a series of links, right? So you can see in my Accelerator panel, I have the details about this opportunity, and behind me in CRM, I'm just on the My CRM page. But since it's linked, when I click on the title of this opportunity, CRM knows what to do. It automatically reloads, and it takes me to that opportunity that I have just started. So this should look pretty familiar. We're now in just desktop CRM. We started the opportunity. And I promised that I would show you how this quick mail merge works. So I promised that I would send him a spec sheet. I can go up onto these icons on the top, which are full of functionality, and please let us know if you want to know more about it with the poll, which we're going to launch later in this webinar. But I would love to show you more about how all these icons work and how they help you with navigation. One of our options is just to email a mail merge attachment. Okay? So if I choose that and I just select the global template that I have already built, let me explain what's going on behind the scenes now. Well, where CRM is looking up the document, it's going to go ahead and build the document, and it's going to include any of those merge fields that I initially brought in, say the name or the company of the opportunity, and it's PDFing that document so it looks really nice. Then it's attaching it to an email. Then it's tagging the email. Then I know, great, I'm sending off this spec sheet. I send this off to him. As soon as I fire it off, their Accelerator is again just asking me, where are we putting this? You can see when it says filed for, the entity type is the opportunity, the entity name is the same name we've been using for this guy. And when I send it off, I don't have to do anything else. It's saved in CRM, it's done the filing for me, and I can continue working. The last thing I just want to show you is just to kind of prove out how this communications function works. So you've seen that we made a phone call and then we sent this email with an attachment, but how do you really know it's there? Well, When you need to come back to this opportunity sometime later in the pipeline, or perhaps you're doing an onboarding project and someone is going to take this opportunity from you, they can then tab over to communications and see how this history has been built. Here you see I have my phone out, I see the details on the phone, and I see my email out along with the paperclip to indicate that I can look at the attachment. So if tracking communications is something that would be helpful for your organization and helping your organization learn and grow and becoming an organization that kind of learns from itself, we have found Accelerator to be very, very useful for that, and we'd love to tell you more about it. All right. Okay, any questions about Accelerator? You can use this chat function, which I think might be nice. If people can see the little chat on the right, there's also questions. So if anybody has any questions about this, let me know, or else I will be happy to answer anything at the end. All right, okay, I got a question. How does the email tagging work? Okay. All right, so you saw that when I sent that email out, when I did the email mail merge attachment, it added a tag to that email. That acts as a uniqueifier, and that tag follows that email wherever it goes. That way, when it comes back to me at some point, I can save it, and that saves to that specific opportunity in CRM. But you could also use tagging. If you got some other inquiry, you can use this tagging function. If you just kind of keep your eye near inquiry software, just keep it near the subject line. I'm going to click tag email, and it creates a unique tag so that it knows that it needs to connect it wherever I have it attached in this Accelerator panel. So if ever I'm sending this email, forwarding it as maybe a question to a colleague, and that colleague forwards it to someone else, and then she sends it back to me, when I save that email back into CRM, that tag acts as a uniqueifier that keeps it all connected to the opportunity or the entity that I'm working with. Cool.